All right, so this is it. We've got the final 3 signs for the Eisenhower renovation project, and that means we can be wrapping it up, be done with this. So you've got the old busted. You got the, it's going to be the, as we call it, the affectionately, we call it the two bangers. So you got the old busted here, just like Steven Seagal, these are marked for death. So they're going to get rid of those, and they're going to use the Hilti epoxy and studs. And we've got the new hotness right here. So now, if you recall, like I said, this is going to be basically a collab. This is going to be a mashup of the 6-banger non-illuminated small guys with the fingers, the hanging boxes from the secondary monuments. So really all I got to do is really point out the similarities and just kind of remind you guys what's up. And then there's just a couple things that we want to look at that's a little different that I'm going to show you what's up on that. But if you guys can put your remembery caps on and kind of just remember what you did on those, it's going to really help out. So, but hopefully this will also help you, because I brought in the reference page of the 6-bangers to try to jog your memory. And then I also brought in the hanger boxes for the big ones outside, the 2 secondaries, but it's going to be the same thing just to try to jog your memory. So hopefully that helps you guys. So with that being said, let's get after it. So the lay of the land, you got your main boxes with your main jigs, and there's 3 of them. So 3 sets of that. You've got the back mohawk, the back box, spine with the jigs and whatnot. 3 of those, look for that. You've got your skins, back box, and thankfully all this fits on one sheet. We don't have to seam everything, which makes things a lot easier. And then you got your removable skins, tops and bottoms. And then with the hanger boxes, you've got that internal box. And then you have the hanger frames, the ears that you put on, remember? And then you got the hard candy shells. So there's that. This is where the power goes, just gonna be a simple power plate. I'll go over that. And then you have these mounting finger grab handers, grabbers I call them. I'll show you those. You know what these are. These are the tops and bottoms of the bars, and these are the drill jigs. So look for those. And then similar to the 6-bangers, you have that like bottom 1/4-inch bracket that holds everything up. You got 063 whites inserts. And just like the 6-bangers, you've got yourself the 1/2-inch acrylic logo that you're going to stick on. Slide-in faces, 3/4-inch acrylic. And this time I didn't forget the 1/2-inch MDO, the drill templates. Make sure you get these to install. Be looking out for these. I got you 2 of them just in case. So this should look very familiar to both the secondary, the 2 secondary front monuments and the 6-bangers right there. So the similarities are, if you go, I gave you this page here for reference. I brought in from the 6-banger, so I don't have to repeat a lot of stuff. So you're going to do the same thing with that brass insert, silicone and VHB those on when you're done. But the main thing is it's going to have this same sort of pocket where they're going to have that welded up bottom mounting plate there. The only difference is this guy has 2 posts. One's going to be running up through the sign itself, so to give it that extra support, because it's going to have the boxes out front hanging. So you're going to have an extra little stick. So you're going to have 2 sticks poking up, but the same thing applies. You're going to have this void inside the sign, and with the big green arrows are the things that are similar. So like the other one, you want to make sure that the bottom surface, once you weld it, get rid of all the weld boogers, make sure there's no blobs of lords or anything, make sure the slag's all cleaned up, because this is going to have to sit down on that plate. So there you go. The only difference is, again, the reason why it has 2 sticks is because you do not have this stud sticking up in the front, because there was no way to access it like we could on these. So because there's no access, that's why this guy has 2 tubes running up, and it's going to be nailed down with these guys. Now, that's going to bring up this difference. So these will look familiar because you guys just got done with the trim boxes for the Riverside County. So that's what's going to be up with these. You're going to take the blue side is going to be smaller, and it's going to slide in and make a 90 bracket, and you're going to rivet those 4 rivets on both sides, and that's going to create this 90 bracket. Then what you're going to do is it's going to be like 2 hands grabbing the 2x3. So you're going to go ahead and assemble this, and what you're going to do is rivet it to the inside, the main, I call it the middle, the M, it has a middle. So the middle spar there, the middle brace frame, you're just going to rivet these guys on, and then that's going to act like a little sandwich. And then install, is going to be able to just hit these up with self tappers. So once they slide these over, this guy's no access like the other one. It's just to keep it stable. They're going to slide it over, get it level how they like it, and then they can go ahead and shoot screws in there, and that's going to nail this down. So you don't have that stud on this one. You don't have to worry about anything. You're just going to weld this up, and it's going to have 2 forks sticking up. So that's really the only difference there. And then, but once that's done, and then once you get this, like, how you guys do, you guys get this all done, get this on there, you're all sexy. Then it's time for the power. That's the other difference, is that you have this, it's just going to be a basic plate. You're going to bend this. You're going to do 1, 2, 3 here. You're going to get this guy, and you're just going to take this, and it's going to fit inside this bend or this reference kiss. And you're just going to tack it to the inside with the opening up. And then you're going to go ahead and put the top cap on as well. You're going to rivet that, probably do that first, rivet the top cap on, right? And then you go ahead and butt this up against, and you can tack this and close it up. That's going to be your switch enclosure. Then I'm pretty sure this thing only needs 1 power supply for just these little 4 boxes. It's going to be easy. So I have that set up though for a GE, or if you have some Sloan's waterproofs, if you want to do those. And I got your grounds there. So you're just going to tack this in, and then that's going to be our switch enclosure. So you have your plate, switch will live right there. Then what you're going to do is just go ahead and Cleco that in, and you're just going to burn it to the inside skin. That way we've got ourselves a nice, and then you can tack the top, visor and all that, get the little cap in there, get that all tacked up nice. Don't have to run like full pen welds, but we want to make sure it's on there and it's nice and stable. That way everything's bonded, grounded, and U-weld don't see us dough. So that's the only difference there, because there wasn't any room, obviously, to put a power supply, and it also wasn't needed because this thing is going to be right there. It's not going to be that big, and you're not having to slide off. This bar is not a big 2x5 or whatever, and you're not on a ladder. So it's a little more work to have to access, but it is what it is. Install can just pop this off, slide a face out, and they can get to the power. So, but that's the other difference, just that, do the power plate right there. But otherwise, that's the same. All that's the same. Let's see, you got our cut list there. Just follow that. And then these guys are the same frames, if you remember the hanger boxes. So you're going to put the internal box together. So I have 1 and 2. 1 is the bigger one, so all the parts for 1 and all the parts for 2. So you're just going to do that internal box first, and then you're going to make these picture frames. And then for review, I brought this over. So you remember you're going to go ahead and Lords and shoot screws and make these guys shoot out the back. And then once you get those, like, combine the frames with the boxes, then you're just going to put that hard candy shell over the whole thing. And then you have your removable countersunk end pieces. So all that's going to be the same. So I brought that in just so you guys can kind of remember how to do all that. But there's only 6 total this time instead of a whole bunch, and they're much smaller. So it's kind of a coast to a stop situation for you guys. So the same thing, I got the stick out, although these guys are going to go all the way through just to give it that extra little love. So just look for 16 sticking out of the box on the 1x3s that poke through. So I got those. You got 2 of them on both sides there and there, because that way they can straddle the 2x3 running up. So that's our cut list. You got the 1x3s for support. You got the 2x3s that are going to go for the actual structure. You got the 1x4, which are your decorative bars. And then you have your 2x2 for your lift points up top. You just weld those in. And then the same thing with those bars. You remember that. So you guys should still have the drills for that. If not, bring them in. You're going to need the 1/4-20 riv nuts. And then these kind of wide boy 1/4-inch ones, guys, that you used for that. So same thing. It's a little different, but don't confuse it. These are different than the other ones. So if those other ones are laying around or whatever, don't confuse the spacing for these. These are their own thing. So use the ones that come from this. Don't use any previous. So that takes care of that. And then it's the same thing, 5/16 steel riv nuts. You got 4 per panel. So once this is all done, skins on there, you can go ahead and put your riv nuts in and make sure those are all dialed in. So, but that's the same as the hangers. It's all the same there. So, but anyway, so I think that's it. Like I say, it's all similar. You guys should all it should all come back to you, whether it's a nightmare, whether you already went through therapy. but to get over this, but it's back again. So just and for install, I'm gonna go ahead and send out the PDF that I sent before, but it's the same thing as the other one. If you're watching this, you're gonna take those 1x's with you and take the 1x1 square tube. You're just gonna cut all the existing J bolts off the pad there, and then you got your electrical sticking up, and then you're just gonna cut those off. And then you're just going to go ahead and put in the new studs, and then you're just going to counter tighten at 1 inch up, and then you can just run your power up through. I did give you a couple of little holes here to get through. So you got this guy here, you can run them through there. You come up through those holes there, and then you could just run them up through here, and then run them up through here and here. So I got all these holes here ready to go. So you have full access to bring it up to the power. So you just got to get your primary up to number 1 here, into the little power plate. So that's for install, but you guys should have your eye in by now with these 6 bangers that you already did. So I think that's it. So as usual, if you have any questions, hit me up, but otherwise we're all counting on you. Good luck. Check the